If we talk about metallic oxides can be basic oxides. Metallic oxides can be basic oxides, amphoteric oxides, or acidic oxides. We know that sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, all these are basic oxides. And oxides like aluminium oxide, lead oxide, all these are amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides are those oxides which can react with acids as well as bases. And metallic acidic oxides are chromic oxide. Chromic oxide, when dissolved in water, it forms chromic acid. Similarly, manganese oxide is also acidic oxide, right? So nature of oxides, metallic oxides are basic in nature, right? And they can be basic oxides are Na2O, right? Magnesium oxide, calcium oxide. They can be amphoteric in nature, and amphoteric is lead oxide, aluminium oxide, right? These are amphoteric oxides. And metal oxides can also be acidic oxides. Acidic oxides like Cr2O3, chromic oxide, right? Or CrO3, this is, right? Mn2O7, these are acidic oxides. But in case of metals, we have only acidic oxides, right? And these are covalent compounds. And we know that this is an electrovalent compound. These are electrovalent compounds, right? Now, reaction with acids. Reaction with acids. We know that metals, if you know the activity series, we will be doing what is activity or reactivity series after this lecture. Activity series is where metals are arranged in a row. Metals are arranged in a list. It's a list of metal wherein the reactivity of metal falls down as we come down the activity series. So metal that is at the top is most reactive, the one that is at the bottom is least reactive, right? So we have hydrogen also at one position in activity series. So when metals react with dilute acids, the metals that are above hydrogen in the activity series will replace hydrogen from acids, right? Whereas when we see in case of non-metals do not react with dilute acids, right? That is dilute HCl and dilute sulfuric acid. So metals above hydrogen in activity series will replace hydrogen from acids, right? Whereas in case of metals, if we talk in case of non-metals, if we talk about non-metals do not react with acids, dilute acids like HCl and H2SO4, right? We know that sulfur and phosphorus do react with concentrated nitric acid, right? We have done this in our previous chapter, acids, bases and salts. And if we talk about nature of chlorides, let's name some metal chlorides. Metal chlorides are NaCl, CaCl2, right? PbCl2, right? Similarly, non-metal chlorides, carbon is a non-metal, right? So chloride is, we know, CCl4, right? This is the chloride of non-metal. And the other is, we know, hydrogen is also a non-metal, so this is chloride. And if we talk about the nature of chlorides of metals, we know that all these are ionic compounds, right? All these are ionic compounds, and all these are covalent compounds, right? And we have done in previous chapters that ionic compounds, when dissolved in water, they form ions, right? And when they form ions, and when electricity is passed through it, the ions that is positive and negative ion, will start moving towards respective electrodes, and this way they are good conductors of electricity, and they are electrolytes, right? What are electrolytes? Electrolytes are solutions, right, salt solutions that are good conductors of electricity. So all these salt solution of metallic chlorides are electrolytes, right? They are ionic compounds, and these are electrolytes. And why they are electrolytes? Because they contain ions which move to respective electrodes when electricity is passed through it. If you talk about these are covalent compounds, and they CCl4, HCl, right? These do not contain. HCl is it has a little different chemistry. This will ionize in water solution only, right? But if we talk about dry HCl, it is a non-conductor of electricity, a non-electrolyte, right? CCl4 is, we know it's a covalent compound, and it's a non-electrolyte. Why? Because it exists as molecules, right, in water, right? These are non-electrolytes because they do not contain ions. They do not contain ions, so they are non-electrolytes, right? HCl, in case of HCl is it's a polar covalent compound, but in dry state it's a bad conductor of electricity. But when water is added to it, this is a dipolar, HCl is a dipolar molecule, it separates into positive hydrogen and negative chloride ion in water solution, right? So now after this we have oxidizing and reducing properties. We know that what is an oxidizing agent and what is a reducing agent. Since metals can lose electrons, right, so they can provide these electrons to non-metals, right? Non-metals will gain those electrons. So metals are reducing agents because they can reduce others, right? So metals are reducing agents, since they can easily lose electrons. And what about metals? What about non-metals? Non-metals like carbon, right? Or let's take example of some other non-metals like chlorine, bromine, right? Chlorine, we know it can easily accept electrons, right? So since it can accept electrons, it can make others to lose electrons which it can accept, right? So non-metals are good oxidizing agents because they can oxidize others, so they are good oxidizing agents, and itself they will get reduced because they gain electrons, so they get reduced, but they oxidize others, so they are oxidizing agents. Non-metals are good oxidizing agents, right? Example is chlorine. Chlorine can accept one electron to form chloride ion, which is stable ion, right? Nature of hydrides, if we talk about, hydrides of metals are sodium hydride, right? And we have calcium hydride, CaH2, calcium hydride, like water, ammonia and methane. These are non-metal hydrides. We know that hydrogen can act as a metal as well as non-metal. So here hydrogen is acting as a non-metal, and here hydrogen is acting as these are covalent compounds. So here hydrogen is acting as again a non-metal, right? So these hydrides of non-metals are stable compounds, whereas hydrides of metals, these are unstable compounds. right? Just remember this. Right, hydrides, normally metals do not form hydrides, but if they form, these hydrides are not very stable. Whereas if we talk about hydrides of non-metals, oxygen, nitrogen and carbon, these are hydrides. Water is a hydride of oxygen, right? So similarly, ammonia is a hydride of nitrogen, and we know all these are stable compounds, right? So hydrides of non-metals are stable compounds. You can take these notes and just remember all exceptions, right? And just go through once all this, right? Thanks.